Hey y'all, Farmer Dre back at it. It's another beautiful evening here on the farm. We just got done with all the work outside. But I want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you guys haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button. Go and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. And don't forget, we are trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We got 2 more days, but we can do it. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the tomatoes, how they have been progressing and how they've been doing. We went ahead and seeded these last Thursday, so it's been 5 days, and some started popping out of the ground here. We got the LED lights going, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that and what to look for whenever you are germinating tomatoes. Alrighty, so first thing whenever you're germinating tomatoes is temperature. That's the most important. So we have this small little heater here. It's set at 75 degrees. It was put at the highest temperature, which the highest temperature was 86 degrees. And I let that until I saw the first seed germinate. Once that first seed germinated, I went ahead and put it back at 70 degrees. And whenever more and more germinate, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it down to 72. Between 65 and 72 degrees is the ideal temperature for growing tomatoes, even when you're germinating and whenever they're outside growing. And if you could keep the average temperature about 65 degrees, tomatoes are happy. And of course with plenty of sunlight and plenty of artificial light. As long as that temperature is right, they'll keep on growing. So that's what happened. So I planted them on Thursday. So I believe Saturday afternoon towards the evening, I saw the first seed that germinated. And I believe those are either a red deuce or a big Dina. And they came out of the ground, and ever since then they've just been popping out of the ground here slowly. So it takes about a full week until all of the seeds have completely germinated. You know, it all depends on how much you water them beforehand. Make sure you get that seed soaked. And the thing about using the coated seeds, as you guys must have saw in my first tomato video that I did whenever I first planted these, that if you don't wet the soil enough, then that seed coat kind of prevents the seed from getting moisture, and then it will not allow it to germinate. So that's why you got to make sure whenever you are using seeded or treated or coated seeds, so go ahead and get plenty of moisture so all of the seeds could go ahead and germinate. So that's what, you know, the Red Deuce and the Carolina Golds were treated seeds, so they had that white lime around them, and the Big Dinas aren't. So in my experience here, and you know, I don't have too much of it, but if you're using a coated seed versus a non-coated seed, the non-coated seed is going to germinate just a tad bit quicker. And I'll show you guys the Big Dinas versus the Red Deuce and how they have been doing. But you know, overall it takes about a week until they all get germinated and until they all become active. So make sure you go ahead and water them nicely, soak them in there, and make sure they are, you know, happy so they can go ahead and come out and start growing. All right, so I got the heater, and then of course we're using the Marsh Hydro Light. I went ahead and set it on the maximum temperature here. So you know, seeing how it is, I'll play by the book as more and more germinate and come out. But these are the tomato plant seeds right here. And like I said, it's been 5 days since I germinated them. There's a lot of them still coming up out of the ground there, just like that one right there. So they're just itty bitty. They're small. They're growing. But you know, that's that time of year. And I'll keep you guys updated here. So I'm gonna try to make a weekly video about tomatoes to keep you guys posted and seeing how you guys do that. And if you guys have any better ideas, or you guys are professionals at growing tomatoes, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. You guys know I'm always trying to learn, always trying to see what we can do better. And this here works for us and for me on our farm. I'm not saying it's the perfect, I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's not the best way to do it. It's not perfect, but hey, we make it work, we make it happen, and you got to work with what you got. So this full tray here is Big Dinas. This section here is Big Dinas, Red Deuce, and the Carolina Golds. And the Carolina Golds are really slow of coming. There might be a couple poking out of the ground there, but you know, there's a lot of them that are, you know, the first true leaves are coming out there. So yeah. So like I said, germinating tomatoes, it's not too terribly complicated. Don't overdo it. Don't overcomplicate it, because if you overcomplicate it, then you just overthink it through. But like I said, try it out, see what you're doing, and you know, they will come out, they will germinate, the majority of them. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated here on how the tomato plants are going to go and how they're going to continue coming out of the ground here, and hopefully, you know, we will see these tomatoes do some good stuff. just a good rule of thumb here, you don't want the cotyledons to be bigger than an inch from the soil level, because if they get too tall, then they just get too leggy and then they just flop around, and then whenever you go to transplant them or move them out, they just get too big and tall, and there's just kind of a pain to deal with. Then you got to bury them in the soil. So that's whenever they get to about that 1 inch mark, that cotyledons. And whenever you are germinating, just some plant science 101, the first leaves that come out like that, that's called the cotyledons. The leaves that come out of the seed whenever it does germinate. And then whenever someone says the first true leaves, is whenever it starts actively growing and starts putting on leaves, then those tomatoes will start coming, the tomato leaves themselves will start coming out in between those two cotyledons. And I'll show you guys and take you guys along for the ride whenever we are, and whenever they progress here. But these are the cotyledons that are coming out here, and the cotyledons are going to put energy into the roots. They're going to continue growing, and once it has enough energy, it's going to start growing out its first tomato leaves. And from the first tomato leaves, it's going to be actively progressing and growing. So yeah, it's kind of good to know some terminology, because then you know what to do, what not to do, and how to do stuff. So like I mentioned in my previous video, whenever I was germinating these or planted these, I talked to you guys about whenever my first year ever growing tomatoes, and I put them in our germination chamber. I left them in there for a full week without touching them, and the cotyledons were about 2.5 inches above that soil level, or above the potting mix there, and they got too leggy, and then a lot of them just kind of fell over. I didn't have any fans or anything pushing on them, so they didn't really get a really nice root system going. So yeah, like I said, you just learn from your past experiences, you learn from your mistakes, and just keep on going. So I'm gonna go ahead and close these up for the night, make sure that the temperature's right, make sure they have plenty of light, and then that's it. So this is going to be pretty much it for today. Like I said, I'm going to be making a weekly video just on the tomatoes alone, so you guys could be notified and see how they progress and how they do. So 1 guaranteed video a week on the tomatoes, maybe 2 if I get really excited and think of if someone has a question or anything like that, I'll just respond through a full video. But we are waiting on some pretty good weather to finish off the high tunnel. We got another high tunnel going up on Val's place. We got to start pruning the trees. We have another 1,800 apple trees coming this next spring, and of course we got the strawberries. So we got another 4 months here to get all the small nitty-gritty stuff done before the season starts. We still got a few bins of cider to press. So yeah, the season's coming to an end, but then 2021 season is coming pretty fast, and they'll be here before we know it. So like I mentioned in my other videos talking about the apples, I want to get the entire trellis system finished before we even plant, just makes our life a little easier, and gives us a little more time to not be as stressed in the spring. But this is gonna be pretty much it for today. If you guys haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button, go and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, we are trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so if you guys want to help me out, I would appreciate it. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day, and we will see you in the next one.